When you understand what is important, your prioritization becomes more clear. If we don't know what's important, then prioritization becomes difficult. What is most important is happiness, peace, independence. They're all synonyms. And I know you agree with me intellectually, but if I ask you, what are you making a priority? I don't know if we make independent joy a priority in our life. And so I want to spend some time right now proving to you that your nature is happiness, that your nature is independent joy. Okay, so follow along with me. I'm going to give you 5 keywords. Here's keyword number 1. Quantity. Now I explain. So Valentine's Day is coming up, but we're going to change that into Bhakti Day. Okay, from this February 14th onward, you're no longer allowed to use the word Valentine's Day. It will only be known as Bhakti Day. Okay? On Valentine's Day, we can use it until then. We tend to exchange chocolates. Okay? So imagine we all meet here at Chinmaya Dhara and I have a box of chocolate. You know, Lindt chocolates, the one with the wrappers on it, and there's vanilla and caramel and all of that. So I offer each person one. Okay, so you take one of those. And you are all most sattvic people, so you don't even want that. But there's one person who says, no problem, I'll take for everyone. So the first chocolate is 1 unit of happiness, yes? So the second chocolate is 2 units of happiness. It may be even more because you don't deserve it, right? So it may taste even better. 3 units, 5 units. So if you eat 50 chocolates, is it going to create 50 units of happiness? No, correct? You'll feel so sick. You may have to go to the hospital. So quantity. We think that happiness is in the chair or in a vacation or a person. But if that's true, the more you have of that, the more happy you should be. But we know that's not true. Second word, quality. Quality. So I was just using the example of bhindi, right? Imagine I cooked a pot of bhindi right now. Bhindi is also known as okra, ladyfingers, etc. If I brought a pot full of bhindi right now, imagine all of you, I'm with you too, physically. How many of you would be happy to eat that bhindi by a show of hands? All of you should have your hands up. I made it. How many of you would be unhappy? I would definitely be unhappy. See, if bhindi was intrinsically joyful, happiness, then everyone should want bhindi, correct? But not everyone likes bhindi. Not everybody wants bhindi, irrespective of who's cooking it. So quality, not true. Your child may bring you happiness, but definitely not the next person, isn't it? Quality. Third word, absence. Absence. Okay? In your respective lecture halls, if you all left, can there be happiness in the lecture hall? No. As soon as one person comes back, can there be happiness in the lecture hall? There can. Whether that person's happy or not is separate, but there can be happiness, which shows that when you go, happiness goes. When you come, happiness comes. That shows you must be happiness. No. Number 4, sleep. This one we'll all get. What time did you sleep last night? 11 o'clock? 11? They're just saying that because I'm asking. I'm asking them. But if you know it's 11 o'clock, you're not sleeping then, isn't it? We don't know what time we sleep. You can infer, you can see your clock, but if you're sleeping, you don't know what time it is. And if there's a time, you're not sleeping. Now in sleep, that's when we're peaceful. I was sharing, I think in the Moha Mudgara course, that sleep is known to be an experience where you return to the lap of God. Everybody enjoys sleeping. Rare is a person who enjoys waking up, isn't it? Now in sleep, you don't know what time it is. You don't know what gender you are. You don't know about your family. You don't know if you believe in God. But you're peaceful. The only one present in that sleep is you, isn't it? So where is the joy coming from? You. What was the first word? Quantity. Remember the chocolate example. Next, quality. Bhindi example. Next, absence. Remember the room example. Next, sleep. I don't have to remind you to remember the sleep example. And finally, and this is actually the most powerful, in my opinion, we escape. The key word is escape, okay? We escape that which is unnatural. We try to escape from fear, anxiety, sorrow, even my body. If there's a virus in my body, if there's a piece of wood in my arm, this body will push it out because it doesn't belong there. But my heart belongs in my chest. So there's no problem there. It fits there. There's no rejection there. It's natural. Now, when it comes to happiness, do you try to reject happiness? You try to run from happiness. If anything, our only fear is that will go away. So think, your nature must be happiness because you always embrace it and never escape it. So with these 5 proofs, we are being reminded that our nature is independent joy. And Ramayana is also reminding us of the same. Bhagwan Rama is a form and name of independent joy. When you think of evil, the devil is a form and name of evil. We're studying what is the form and name of joy. It is Bhagwan Rama. But remember, that's your nature. So you are Bhagwan Rama. Bhagwan Rama is you. We are studying in depth this system of reminding ourselves to be independently joyous. And we already practice this in very functional ways. Before you leave to go on a trip, what do you do to your suitcase? People tend to tie tags, correct? Tags, or you put a marking on there or something like that to remind you that this is your suitcase, isn't it? It's a reminder. So too, we find our suitcase and we leave. You are flowing with this course if you start to remember that the only joy is you. Okay? Last week, we studied when Bhagwan Rama was born. His Shishu Leela began. He was an infant, he was a child, and he was not restricted to the palace. You see, Prince Siddhartha, his father kept him in that pleasure palace. But Raja Dasharatha was not like that. Bhagwan Rama and his brothers would wander around, and every person that they came across loved Bhagwan Rama and those brothers. They all felt like those were their children. And more deep than that, they loved Bhagwan Rama and those brothers because they are joy, which really showed that they love them like they love themselves. We love ourselves the most because we provide ourselves the most joy. Now I'm saying Bhagavan Rama, they loved him as much because he is joy. He is them. They're all the same. Okay? They were drawn to him because they were drawn to themselves. He was just an externalization of who they are. And I had also shared last week that Bhagavan Rama was given a name. He had his head shaved. He had his earrings put in. He did Akshara Abhyasa. He went through all of these samskaras. Did he need any of that? The last samskara is Antyeshti, which is the death of the body, but more so it's the death of the ego. Does Bhagavan Rama have a body? His body is made up of light. Does he have an ego? Egotistical people are those who suffer. Those people are joyous. They don't have an ego. He was leading by example, not for himself, but he was leading for the people in Ayodhya, leading for us, which showed that he loves all of us. And he loves all of us because he sees all of us as himself, as one. So bhaktas love Bhagwan and Bhagwan loves bhaktas. You know how you should prostrate to your Sadguru, to Bhagwan? We just do a quick one of these, or just a high five and so on. How you should prostrate to Bhagwan is, if you see Bhagwan, and you will see Bhagwan, one hand you should put on top of his feet, and one hand underneath his feet. And the reason for that, you put one hand on top in case Bhagwan leaves, and one hand underneath in case you leave. That way you're praying to Bhagwan, I won't forget you, but you also shouldn't forget me. I love you, and you should also love me. See the build up to Bhakti Day. Okay. So as I was sharing, we go from Shishu Leela to Kishora Leela. Now we fast forward to when Bhagwan is around 15 years old now. Okay? He's become a teenager, but he's a very different type of teenager. When you think of a teenager, dukkha. When you think of Bhagwan Rama as a teenager, there should be sukha. Okay? I'm on the 209th section of Chopais, the 209th, and I am reading the third verse, the second line, which is on page 146. So again, 209th section of Chopais. This is the third verse, the second line. Eka hi bana prana hari leena, deena jani tehi nija pada deena. So this shares that with one arrow, Bhagwan was able to destroy this Taraka. But knowing Taraka to be a bhakta, he graced Taraka with his home, his dhamma, which is known as Sake. Okay. This is like when I teach all of you, I always give you the shloka, but then I rewind. It's like watching a really interesting movie. This is what happened, but how did it happen? So now I'll tell you how this happened. Last week, I told you that Vishwamitra Rishi was trying to perform a lot of yajnas, but there was rakshasas who lived in the forest, and they would throw blood and bones and dead bodies where this yajna was happening. And so Vishwamitra Rishi, he was unable to continue with his yajnas. So he thought to himself, how do I continue to perform these yajnas when these rakshasas keep disturbing this? So as he contemplated, he felt that Bhagwan Rama is born now. He should go ask Bhagwan for help. So he was very happy with his solution. And then he started walking towards Ayodhya. And it's shared that Vishwamitra Rishi was daydreaming all the way to Ayodhya. He was in the forest and then he was at Ayodhya because he was just thinking about seeing Bhagwan Rama and feeling Bhagwan Rama. You know, like these Balware students wait for me to stop finishing. You know, start finishing. They daydream, okay? This is happening and this is happening. That's what Vishwamitra Rishi was daydreaming all the way to Ayodhya. And when he got there, then they all came out to greet him outside of the kingdom. The king came to greet him, Raja Dasharatha, all of the ministers, the brahmanas, and they brought him to the sabha, the place where they discuss. And Vishwamitra Rishi was given a seat. Whose seat was he given? Raja Dasharatha's seat. Raja Dasharatha offered Vishwamitra Rishi his seat because he knows higher than the leader is the one who guides the leader. And then Raja Dasharatha says, you know, rarely do you come to this kingdom. Why did you come? You know, he finally gets down to business. What can I do for you? And Vishwamitra Rishi calls him Nripa. What does Nripa mean? King. But if you break up this word, Nra means human. Pa means protector. So he sarcastically chides Raja Dasharatha that you're supposed to be the protector of humans. And here, I can't even do my yajnas. So he's saying that, you know, please continue to be a king. He says, you should give me your son Rama. And he only asks for Rama, but he knows if Rama's coming, Sri Lakshmana's coming too. And he says, if you ask them to come with me to help protect me, he says, Sanata. Then I will finally have a Natha. Not just a worldly ruler, but I will be with the absolute ruler. And what happens then is, there's a lot of dialogue, which I'll get into. Raja Dasharatha first says, no, but then Rishi Vishishta has to educate Raja Dasharatha that, you know, this is not an ordinary request from an ordinary person, that they must go. So Raja Dasharatha finally says yes. And they both dress up and they go with Rishi Vishwamitra. And it's shared that Bhagwan Rama, he's very dark blue in color, and he ties a yellow cloth around his waist. And there's such detail about this. He looked like a thunder cloud with lightning. That's what he looked like. You know, you just have to imagine, you know, this dark blue person with this yellow cloth. We always ask about that yellow cloth, correct? It's that we're attracted to lightning, correct? Everyone's looking at lightning. But it's only in contrast to that blueness. So the detail of their body. What is also shared is that when people think of Sri Lakshmana, we think of someone who doesn't have a lot of patience. So once someone had asked Sri Lakshmana, you know, Bhagwan Rama is so calm and you're not so calm. How can you two be brothers? And Sri Lakshmana says, I'm not so calm to accentuate Bhagwan Rama's calmness. He's fair to bring out Bhagwan Rama's darkness. Every part of their body and mind of Sri Lakshmana is serving Bhagwan Rama. I keep telling Sheila that I'm impatient to bring out her, bring out her patience. So then they come into the forest, and the first person that they see in the forest, her name is Taraka. And she's a Rakshasi. She's a demoness. And she furiously comes at Bhagwan Rama, and with one arrow, he dismisses her. Then her next son comes. Who's her son? Maricha. Maricha comes furiously at Bhagwan Rama, and he was coming so fast that Bhagwan Rama, he couldn't put an arrowhead at the end of his arrow. He just had the shaft. So he just shot the shaft at him, and that hit Maricha, and Maricha flew back Shata Yojana, which means 800 miles his body was thrown. And Guruji was saying that he landed in Mumbai. From where they are, 800 miles is Mumbai, is Maricha. Now Maricha will come back in our katha, isn't it? Maricha becomes the golden deer. See the detail. He was never killed. There's no arrowhead there. His body was just flown. But then the next brother comes. His next brother is Subahu. And he is dismissed by Bhagwan Rama. And it's actually shared that there's 14,000 other Rakshasas that are with them. And Sri Lakshmana by himself dismissed all of them. So that's our katha. Now let's think about all of this. Okay, what is the meaning about all of this? Let's go back to Rishi Vishwamitra performing his yajnas. Yajna means dedication. If you want to dedicate yourself to an altar, to a cause, what kind of mind do you have to have? You have to have a quiet mind, correct? So what is being showed here is that Rishi Vishwamitra, he couldn't perform his yajnas because the environment was very loud. Now bringing that to us, we all talk about being dedicated to our families and communities, but unless you have a quiet mind, it's not real dedication. If you want to perform yajna, if you want to be someone who's a yajna karaka, someone who's engaged in yajna, that means you have to have a quiet mind. So parenting, grandparenting, we will be better with a quiet mind. Now who is this? Vishwa Mitra. What does Vishwa mean? Vishwa means universe. In the universe, there's no exclusion. And Mitra means the friend of the universe. Now, Rishi Vishwamitra is not an ordinary Rishi. He can destroy all of these Rakshasas by himself. But he's also a friend of the Rakshasas, correct? If he destroys the Rakshasas, what happens to them? They get destroyed. But if Bhagwan Rama destroys the Rakshasas, what happens to them? They become free. So he was looking out for them also. That instead of me destroying them, if Bhagwan Rama does, they will be free. Do you see, if we want to really practice Ramayana, even those people who we dislike, those people who are our enemies, we still have to look out for them. They're not really our enemies. We're just confused. We're confused about our relationship with them. They may be confused about themselves. Isn't it? Okay, so we continue. Raja Dashrata first says no. He says no to Rishi Vishwamitra. I'll give you my land. I will give you my armies. I will come with you to take care of these Rakshasas. And he even says, Rishi Vishwamitra, I don't think you thought when you made this request. Raja Dashrata is saying, I don't think you thought about this very thoroughly. Now this is a Rishi. Rishi can see when nobody else can see. Why is Raja Dashrata saying that? Because he's ignorant of who Bhagwan is. He thinks that this is just his ordinary son, that he owns him. If Raja Dashrata knew that this is Bhagwan Rama who can easily dismiss Ravana, would he be afraid of sending him? Raja Dashrata is ignorant of Bhagwan Rama, and in his attachment, he stops his objectivity. When you and I, when we're ignorant, we become attached. We stop seeing the full picture. You see what Rishi Vishwamitra was doing? He was training Bhagwan Rama and Sri Lakshmana. Now they had to go and meet the people, correct? Direct experience working with Rakshasas. Now many political parties, many CEOs, their kids become the leaders or the CEOs, but they have no experience. They don't know what it means to work with people. So Rishi Vishwamitra knew that this is going to be the king. He should get trained on working with people, on working with negativity. And one more, even more deep point. How was Bhagwan Rama born? Out of a yajna, correct? A yajna was performed, from that prasad came, and Bhagwan Rama was born. And now here Raja Dashratha is saying, it's okay if that yajna is not happening. I want to keep Bhagwan Rama. See, you forgot his blessings. When you forget your blessings, you become selfish. And Rishi Vishwamitra reminds him that your son, you only asked for one, you got 4. They all came from yajna. Isn't it that they should also encourage yajna by protecting yajna? Now for us, if we think of all of our blessings, can we ever be selfish? We just keep getting and getting and getting from the multiverse. To say this is me and mine, we've forgotten all of our blessings. And the final meaning to the katha for this portion is, what was the demoness's name? Taraka. And some people point out that the first person that Bhagwan Rama destroyed was a woman. It's a demoness. And they pick on that. Who was the first demoness that Lord Krishna destroyed? Putana. Before Kamsa was Putana, also a demoness. And then they go on, Sanatana Dharma's like this, we oppress women, blah, 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 blah. See, you have to take this at its implied meaning. Taraka, ka means the one who does. Tara means beats. Taraka is the one who's constantly beating you. So now tell me, who's the one who's constantly beating you? Yourself, isn't it? Specifically, Taraka symbolizes durasha. Asha means hope. Asha means desire, but if you put that du, it is false hopes. False desires. Being extrovert is durasha. Being extrovert is being beaten by Taraka. So if you and I want to be free, who is the first person we have to destroy? False hope. Extroversion. What was her son's name? The first son? Maricha. Maricha symbolizes dosha. Dosha means, I'm not saying dosa or dosha as in North Indian saying food. I'm saying dosha as in fault. Fault. Okay? If you are an extrovert person, you're going to start to see the fault in others. An extrovert person only sees faults in others, correct? When Duryodhana asked, who is the most noble person in this universe? What did he say? Nobody is more noble than me, correct? Because he's such an extrovert. So the first will be dosha. The second son was Subahu. He symbolizes dukkha. You may find faults in others, but where do you feel that pain? In yourself. If you don't forgive someone, who suffers the most? You do. In fact, that person who knows that you've not forgiven them, that person's laughing. They control you. They own you. So if you have false desires, if you're an extrovert, you will see faults in others, but you will suffer. So durasha, dosha, dukkha, all of these beings are called nisachara. Nisachara. Now you're going to love this. You know what nisachara means? Nisha does mean night, so hear me out here. Nishayam charati iti nisachara. Nishaya means in the nighttime. What does charati mean? Wanders or is awake. Those who are awake at night, demons. See, the Rakshasa part. Those who wander around at night, zombies, vampires, goblins, ghouls, you, me, correct? Put your name there too. Every day is Halloween in our context. Nishayam charati, that's who a nisachara is. Literally, when we become more tamasic in mind, we become more extrovert, we become more harsh, we suffer more. So, destroy taraka. How? Be an inward-looking person. Which leads us perfectly into the next portion of our katha. And here's where we introduce Ahalya. We've all heard of Ahalya also. So I'll explain that to you. I am now on the 216th section of Chopais. I am reading verse 1, line 2. The 216th section of Chopais, verse 1, line 2. Brahma jo nigama neti kahi gava, ubhaya vesha dhari ki soi ava. Raja Janaka now. Okay? Raja Janaka is speaking to Rishi Vishwamitra and says, who are these boys? Is this boy Brahman, who is known only by Neti, Neti, Neti? Has this Brahman taken on this Vesha, this form and name? Okay? So now we have to rewind. How did we get from Subahu being destroyed to now we're speaking to Raja Janaka? Okay. After these demons, what was the demoness's name? Taraka and Maricha and Subahu. After they were destroyed, then Bhagavan Rama told Rishi Vishwamitra, you can continue with your yajnas now, right? Our work is done. And Rishi Vishwamitra says, yes, we can begin, but there's one yajna that you've not seen yet. That yajna is the Dhanush yajna. Dhanush means that bow, you know, the dedication towards the bow, the sacrifice of the bow. Note, he never said Swayamvara, didn't he? He never said we're going to a potential marriage. He called it a Dhanusha Yajna. Because Bhagavan Rama, if you said, okay, Bhagavan Rama, go get married. We're going to go to a wedding. I don't want to go do that. But Yajna, yeah, I'll come over there. So let's go see this Dhanusha Yajna. So they start. As they're going there, they see a ashram. In this ashram, there's no animals. There's no plants. All they see is this slab of stone. Now, for those who have been to ashrams, there's lots of animals, correct? You know, in our ashram in Mumbai, Sandipani, the first Vedanta course took place in 1965. And from 65 to 70, long course, because Gurudev had to travel so much just to bring money for those students. You know how many meals they got a day? 1. When Guruji studied, which was in 72, they got 2 meals. When I studied, we got 3 meals. When I studied, we were given 2 Parle-Ji biscuits each evening. Okay, so after Srimad Bhagavad Gita class at 5 o'clock, you get to go to the Nakshetra. And literally, like in prison, you know, they give you that much food. So 2 Parle-Ji biscuits. And it was the worst. Because once you have 2, you can't be satisfied with 2. So we all had a system where I would give up my biscuits for 3 days. And you would take my biscuits. But then on the 3rd day, then I get 6. So that way you get some sort of satisfaction on these days. Then in the last course, they had an endless supply of Parle-Ji biscuits. You can eat as many as you want. So in Sandipani, from 65 to 70, there was a tiger in the ashram. Not in a cage, meaning if you went to class, you may not have made it to class. So in our ashrams, there's lots of animals. I myself have seen cobras and monkeys and parrots and scorpions. When I studied in 2005, no animals, no plants, just rock there. And Rishi Vishwamitra specifically took him right by there. And as Bhagavan Rama is walking, it's dusty, correct? I said the rainy season has not begun. So some of that dust from his feet happened to rise and land on that rock. And that rock turned into Ahalya. Ahalya is so beautiful that even Indra, whose wife is known to be the most beautiful, he couldn't stop looking at her. See the reality of what we're studying. Ravana so lusty, Indra so lusty. that these people have lots of position. Ravana is the ruler of the world. Indra is the ruler of the other world. But there is no Vijaya. Lots of Jaya, victory, but no Vijaya. Interested in other people's spouses and only their body. So Ahalya comes. And then they make it to Mithala, also known as Janaka Puri. And when they were going through Janaka Puri, everything in Janaka Puri was awesome. The water smelled sweet. The flowers were blossoming. All the people were happy. Everyone looked healthy. It was like Denmark. Denmark's supposed to be the happiest country in the world. So it was like that. Everyone's, healthy and outside and in nature. All was awesome. When they found out that Rishi Vishwamitra was coming to Mithila, once again, Raja Janaka, the ruler of all of us, he came with the ministers and the brahmanas and invited them to the Sabha, to the main meeting area. And when Bhagwan Rama walked in, how old is he? 15. He's probably in grade 11 right now. But we already studied. He learned everything in the Gurukul fast. He was focused. When he walked in, everybody stood up. These are warriors and these are leaders. And when they saw Bhagwan Rama, they all couldn't help but stand up. So now let's bring this to our Adhyatma Ramayana. What does this mean for you and I? Okay. So Bahu's now been destroyed and Bhagwan Rama tells Rishi Vishwamitra that you should continue with your yajnas, correct? But Rishi Vishwamitra says, what is the point of yajna? You do yajna for Brahman, correct? Brahman's in front of me. Why should I do yajna now, correct? Bhagwan Rama is there. And we study Bhagwan Rama is Brahman. Why do yajna? It's like you make it to Chinmaya Dara, but you keep your GPS on. Right? You got here. What do you need the GPS for? But Bhagwan Rama still says, Bhagwan Rama is still interested in the Dhanusha Yajna, correct? Because he wants to lead by example that if you want to get to Brahman, you have to engage in Yajna. So for us too, if you want to be joyous, if you want to see Bhagwan, you have to live a life of dedication. Now, how do you know if you're living a life of dedication? Remember these 3 words, okay? If you have direction, you develop passion. If you develop passion, you develop peace. Those people who have direction, they become passionate about following that direction. They're dispassionate towards getting, they become passionate about giving. And that's why they feel peace. So Bhagwan Rama is telling Rishi Vishwamitra, really telling us that if you want peace, you have to be passionate. If you want passionate, you have to have direction or yajna. Okay? Then we fast forward to, as they're walking towards the Dhanusha Yajna, they come to Gautama Rishi's ashram. Ahalya was the daughter of Lord Brahma. And Gautama Rishi, because of his greatness, Lord Brahma was proud to offer his daughter to Lord Brahma's daughter, meaning Ahalya. And Ahalya very much loved and served her husband. One day, Indra disguised himself as Gautama Rishi. And Ahalya knew this. In some Ramayanas, it's shared that she didn't know this. In the Ramayana that I've studied, she did know that this is not her husband. Because her husband said, I'm going to do prayers. He has to go to the river, correct? And he came back quickly. She knew that this couldn't be him. It's like if you know someone wakes up really late and they say, yeah, I got up at 6 o'clock yesterday. Disguise. That must have not been you. It must have been an alien or an imposter or someone, correct? So she knew, and this disguised Gautama Rishi was being very lusty, and she yielded to that lust. So Gautama Rishi curses her, saying that since you're thinking like a stone, may you become a stone. Now for us, as you think, so you become. If you're a very lusty person, you may look like a human, but you're actually an animal or a plant, or in this case, a stone. Now, we call this a curse, but it's actually a blessing. When she was a stone, where could she go? She just went deeper and deeper and deeper inside of her. And when she went to the deepest part of her, who did she see there? Bhagavan Rama. See the introvert. Her husband blessed her that stop being extrovert. Start being introvert. And she followed that and realized Bhagavan Rama. That's why it said the dust of his feet hit that rock. It's not, he didn't have to hit that rock. It was, she found Rama irrespective of Bhagavan Rama. And if you think about this more, she went from a stone to a being. Bhagavan Rama is life, everything else is inert, correct? Purusha and Prakriti. Prakriti is only meaningful if Purusha is there. If Purusha is not there, Prakriti means nothing. So that Prakriti was only meaningful. She came to life because of Bhagavan Rama. And now, the last adhyatma to our katha. Why did Bhagavan Krishna take avatar? Why did Bhagavan, now you're studying Srimad Bhagavad Gita. I teach many of you Gita on Tuesdays. Why does Bhagavan Krishna take avatar? Why does he manifest? To establish dharma, okay? These are our typical answers. Not true, actually. Bhagavan comes for udhara. Udhara means upliftment. Okay? Comes for upliftment. It's not to destroy those who are wicked. You know, that's a very sadistic religion then. I come for violence. I come to hurt people. He doesn't. He comes from udhara. What causes that udhara? What causes him to come for upliftment? Karuna. Compassion. There's actually no reason. He's just the nature of love. Love is expressed as compassion, that he comes. You see, he's engaged in all of this leela for no reason, no worldly reason, no human reason. We are compassionate because we want it in return. What compassion can we offer Bhagavan? Think about the people who cursed him. Jaya and Vijaya, they got cursed. Narada curses him. You see the people who are close to him, they're causing his downfall, but he is never looking for reciprocity. Compassion. That's what we can learn from here. And now as he's going through Mithila, I said Mithila is awesome. The people are awesome. The place is awesome. Why? Who lives in Mithila? Mother Sita, isn't it? Mother Sita is the Adi Shakti. She is the awesome power. Wherever she's going to be, everything's going to be awesome, correct? See the foreshadowing. Mother Sita is there. It's so beautiful. And when Raja Janaka comes to meet Bhagavan Rama, he's known as Videha. Deha means body. Videha means without body. He forgets his body, his breath, his mind, his intellect, his ego. There's only joy. He makes joy a priority. When you make joy a priority, all of that dukkha, dosha, durasha, all of it falls away. Narayana.